Welcome back everyone to another Unreal Engine 4 tutorial, and in this video we are going to make our doors functioning. So the first thing what I will do is create a new blueprint structure, and I'm going to call this S door positions. And in here I'm going to add few entries. The first one is going to be called is open, and of course this is going to represent whether the doors are open and closed. This will need to be a boolean. Then we need the open rotation to know which rotation we need, which is the rotation when the doors are open, and we also need a rotation to know when the doors are closed. And the only thing that we need is the z-axis, so I'm going to use floats for both of these. And now let's open up our build preview, and in here I'm going to add a new variable called door positions, and this needs to be the S door position structure that we just created. Now let's add entries to this. So let's go to our add sum, and in here I will do a if branch check, and I will check if our final build from the input is equal to the final door, like so. And if this is true, what I will do is get my door position, and I will add an entry to this. I will split the structure, and let's see, we need, let's drag from, basically it doesn't matter, we can pick any one of these, and let's drag from this, and let's break the transform, and let's split the rotation, and let's get the z-axis. So for the closed we can connect the z directly, and for the open we need to do z plus 90, because I want my doors to open 90 degrees, like so. So this is going to be the open rotation, and directly is the closed rotation, and of course we need to leave this at false because by default our doors are always closed. So the next thing is both of these, so this remove instance from the false will go here, and the same thing goes for this add instance in the loop will go over here as well. So we can compile and save this. Let's go back to the event graph, and let's add a new custom event, and this custom event will be called open door. For this one we need a new parameter, and let's call this door index, which will be an integer, like so. And here let's get our door position. Let's get a copy using this door index as the index for the array. Let's split this. Let's check if the door is open, and then we can, whether if it's open then we will close it, and vice versa. So for this one I will add a new function, and I'm gonna call this set door position. And here let's see, so we need the index. Let's call this again door index, and the next one is going to be a add value, which will be a float. Then from here I will drag in the final door, and I will get the transform, get instance transform. Let's get this in the world space, and let's use the door index as the instance index. Then what I will do next is drag in my door final door again, and we will update instance transform. Let's connect this right here. And for the instance index, this is the door index. For the transform, let's split this. Let's split the rotation as well. Let's split the transform from where we are requesting the current one, and I'm going to split the rotation as well. So we can connect directly the location and the scale, and also we can connect rotation X and rotation Y, so roll and pitch basically. The next thing what I want to do is do a plus float plus float, and we need to get this add value, and we can connect this to our z-axis, like so. Now the next thing what I want to do is return, and here I want to return a float, and this will be the current value. and we can return this float plus float value right here. What is very key important is that here we check this mark render state dirty. Otherwise, the collision box is going to rotate and not the actual visible part of the door. And also we want to check this world space because we are using the world space in here. So now we can compile and save this. Let's go back to the event graph, and in both cases we are going to set this up. So let's connect this right here and another one right here. So now for the door index, let's get this one from the input and from the values. So basically the door is open. If the door is open, we want to close it, so we will do minus, and I've decided that -3 degrees is a very good value, so I will do that. You can experiment with this, so this will basically close the doors faster or slower depending on the value. Then from here what we can do is check whether the doors are open or closed. So let's get the current value and let's check for the once we are opening the doors, let's see if this value is bigger than the open door rotation. So let's do a if branch check, and for the close we're gonna copy these nodes, and actually no, we only need the branch. So here we need to check if this is smaller than the closed rotation, like so. Connect the condition, and here what I want to do is create a custom event, 2 of them. So let's call this keep closing, and the other one custom event will be keep opening, and let's connect this to our set door position. So this is the opening and this is the closing. There we go. Now on falses right here I want to do delays, and I will do a 0.01 for both of these on falses. And then for the top one I want to do this keep closing, and for the bottom one I want to do the keep opening. So basically this is going to loop the whole thing until the doors are fully open. So now we can compile and save this. What I want to do next is go to our third-person character, and on our keyboard E key we're going to, here is the check if we are interacting with the final door, and if this is true then we can drag from our build preview and we can do our open door. There we go. And the door index is the hit item index right here. Let's compile and save this. So now if we would go and let's build some doors, I will do this super simple. We'll make just a few doors, and that's all I'm gonna do here. Place this in world, and if we press E, boom, the doors are opening. So basically if you remove, oh, and we have an issue, the doors are not closing, and that is because we are not updating our information about the doors being open. Now let's update the information a little bit. Also, I had this issue with rotations that they are not always like fully accurate. Like I mentioned before, they have this for the Unreal Engine. They have this, let's check this. So combine rotator, and if we are checking if this is equal to, by default they have this error tolerance because errors do happen quite a bit. And since we are using 3 degrees, the doors not always are shutting perfectly, or we then should change these values a little bit. But I have a different fix for this. We are just simply, once the doors are finished with their movement, we are just setting them back to this basically to this rotation right here that we have set in this structure. So for this I will create again a new function, and I will call this set door final position, like so. And for this I will create a new input, and I will call this open, and this is going to be the boolean. From here we can do a if branch check to see if we are again opening or closing the doors. And here what we want to do is get our door position structure, and we want to set RI element, and we want to do this in both cases like so. Now let's connect this one, and we need another input, which is the door index, and this is an integer, and we can connect this to the index like so. Now for this item I will make this rather like so, and let's see, this is gonna get a little messy with the wires, so actually I might use like so. And so for this top piece we need to get a copy from this index, split this, and connect our open and closed rotations. And let's see, so here we are opening the door, so we will set this to true, and let's do the same thing on the bottom. Let's copy these two, let's set this value, connect this RI, connect the index, and set this to false like so. Now the next thing that we need to do is update the location. So here I will drag in the final door. We shall get the transform. We need this in the world space, and the door index is the instance index. Let's split this, and let's split the rotation as well. There we go. So now let's drag in our final door again, and let's update instance transform. Let's split the structures again like so, well, the transform and the rotation. The instance index again is the door index, and let's connect the location, rotation, XY, scale, and the Z can come from here, so in this case open rotation. Let's click the world space and mark render state dirty. Connect the set RI to the update, copy the whole thing, and recreate it for the bottom piece as well, like so. So let's connect the door index, and let's see, for this one we could actually like simply copy this to not drag things all across the screen. So again, location, X, Y rotations, scale, and the Z comes from the closed rotation like so. So again, remember, world space check and mark render state dirty check like so. Compile, save this, and let's go to the event graph, and here on the true values we can run this set final door position. There we go. So for the door index, let's get the door index, and here, so here we are closing, so it's false. Here we are opening, so let's set this to true. There we go. Compile, save this, let's press play, let's build a few doors. There we go. So doors are opening, 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 and closing, 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 closing. There we go. So the doors are fully functioning. We can walk through them, open them, close them, everything is fine. Except if we press play, let's build doors. Now if we press E, the doors are opening. And we are actually finishing them as well. So this is because if we would go to our third person character, here on our keyboard E key, we are never checking basically anything. This allows us to finish and interact with our build at any time. And that's definitely not what we want. So what we should do here is do a if branch check, and only on false we are allowed to continue. Then from this condition we can do a or boolean check, and what we should check is whether the final build is on, whether the, let's see, and whether the construction mode is on. So if any of these is on, this will return true, and that means that, well, in this case nothing will happen. But if these are not on, then we are allowed to interact. So let's check this out to see if what I'm saying is actually true. So let's add doors, and now if we press E, nothing is happening, and this is exactly what we want. So now we can actually make everything work like it is supposed to. So there we go. So this is fairly quick and simple, and that's going to be it for this video. And in the following video, and that's going to be the last video for this build, we are going to fix the build UI. We're gonna have everything like you saw in the preview video. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next and last episode for this series.